Hey troops, GeneralJSmith here, back with my first of the Last Jedi set reviews. Today we have my first of the construction figures, the Elite Praetorian Guard. And yes, I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, please correct me down in the comments. Nonetheless, the Elite Praetorian Guard, actually if you're unaware, was the elite guard of Snoke, which is effectively the Emperor of the new sequel trilogy. And they were based, of course, off the Royal Guards from the original trilogy. These guys are extremely cool. They are definitely one of the most skilled fighters in the entire First Order army. And they're actually tasked with protecting Snoke himself, which of course, as I just said, was the main guy, the big boss, even above Kylo Ren in the entire First Order. So they certainly were very skilled. With that being said, let's go now in and have a look at the construction version of him, which I have to say, first off, straight off the bat, is a really cool figure. Having a closer look at the Elite Praetorian Guard, as with many other construction figures, there's not an awful lot to go over in terms of actual playability or in terms of any sort of features, but there is one key one which we have seen in a few other construction figures in the past few years, which is this feature here. I'll show you more the mechanism as I go further into review, but effectively you turn this knob side to side, and as you can see, the arms themselves also turn side to side. Now this has pluses and minuses. One of the pluses, of course, would be for kids. This is a good play feature, and certainly really is the only play feature in this set. One of the minuses, however, is that these arms can be a little difficult to pose, and if you put in a certain position, they can sometimes flop about really, and especially also the fact they have to move together, so there's no real way to kind of try and move one independently. For example, if I try to move this one upwards, you'll see the other one kind of goes with it, although that is also partially down to the fact there's staff here. Moving on to the staff, you can obviously see this is an incredibly cool weapon. Personally, I really like it, and I cannot wait to see them use it in the actual film. Another thing that's really cool about it, but of course this is something they probably do in the film, and something LEGO themselves also do, you can detach it like so. You can take this piece off if you want to make it look a little better, and you can see like that, and of course you probably have to turn it around to make it look a little better because the hand's sort of oddly put. Nonetheless, if you turn it around and do all that fun stuff, he of course now has two smaller weapons, as you can see, which is very nice. Now I used to collect Barnacle for a little while, but to my knowledge these are new pieces. Personally, I've never seen them before in Barnacle sets or anything else, but I may be wrong. I'm not a massive expert on this sort of construction figures, but to me at least these are new, which is quite cool. You can see there's a nice bit of detailing there, which is very nice. A lot of red pieces here. Now this may not apply to you if you're not much into Barnacle and on the construction figures, but these red pieces are quite rare. It's rare you see a lot of the red in one construction figure. Normally it's a lot of black, grey kind of thing. And of course these pieces here, and of course the helmets, are new as well. The torso is the exact same piece as we've got with other construction figures. Pretty much, well, all the regular troops, like the First Order Trooper or the Stormtrooper kind of thing. It is the exact same torso. And the printing is slightly different there, which is quite nice, although it's nothing too special either. As I said, the plating here is different, but it can be detached very easily. It's on top of a regular sort of piece here, which is quite nice. Moving down, we have a little waist cape here, which I believe we have seen before. Certainly the fabric is not new. This is something we have seen in other constructions, I think like Kylo Ren or Darth Vader. The ones without the capes, the same sort of fabric there, although it is quite nice, it is flowing, and I do really love these sort of things as well. Personally, I'm a big fan of the construction figures which actually don't have faces. I prefer the ones that have helmets because I think they look better, and I also prefer the ones that have more 3D elements to them, such as capes and things like that. Moving down, so moving up, you can easily take off, by the way, if you so desire. It's simply put off a one peg over there, and you can see the hole like that, and you simply put it on top. Moving around, taking it off, extremely easy. You can see here the legs, really nothing too special. They are quite long relative to some others, although of course this is nowhere near as tall as such like K2SO or the General Grievous. It's nowhere near as tall as that. Nonetheless, you can see here it's got some pretty basic sort of plating. It looks kind of cool, and to be honest with you, I would actually kind of prefer, maybe not prefer it, but I still think it looks quite good even without the waist cape on. And I would say I'd recommend, if you want to get an army of these, which would look quite cool, I recommend you have one with the waist cape to sort of show they're the captain, and the rest of them you kind of take off the waist cape, because then I think they can just be sort of regular soldiers, and I think they do look still very cool without the waist cape on. Nonetheless, that is more or less it then to the features. As I said, of course, with many other construction figures, there's not really an awful lot to go over. Just having a little look at some of the detailing back here, nothing we haven't really seen before. It's still quite nice though to see it in this set as well the back of the legs. I like the way that, unlike some of the Barnacle sets, they do try to cover all the sort of technique inside. Like for example, with the Barnacle, they would have just left this off and just left it sort of open like that. But with the new Star Wars construction, they tend to try and cover as much of the actual sort of, if you will, the bones of the thing as possible, which is quite nice, as well as they probably would have also just left this completely open, but you know. Nonetheless, that is more said than to the features of this set. Still a very cool set as well, but really nothing too special, nothing we haven't seen before. That being said, let's now go into my summary, the instructions, the box, and include my review of the Elite Praetorian Guard. As you would expect for a set with 92 pieces, this instruction manual is nothing special whatsoever and is very thin. We've got in the back here the 4 construction figures we get with the Last Jedi sets. I have these two. The review of Chewbacca will be coming next, hopefully in the next few days or so. These two I do not have and I don't really plan on getting, although if you would like me to get them, please leave it down in the comments. The pilot does look pretty cool, and some of the printing, especially on here, looks quite nice, but in all honesty, pilots just don't appeal to me that much. They're really nothing too special whatsoever, and while Rey, of course, is a main character and is certainly a big influence in the entire sequel trilogy, in all honesty, just like many other construction figures with faces, it just doesn't look entirely right, and if I really wanted a Rey sort of thing, I'd get a regular action figure. Like the Black series are really, really good, so I'd probably just get something like that. In all honesty though, if you still want to pick her up, I still think she looks pretty cool, and I'd say I probably prefer this Rey to the one we got with the Force Awakens, but nonetheless, moving to the back as well, this is some more art. Now I haven't reviewed any other sets and I haven't really looked at the instructions, but hopefully we do get the same art in all of the other instructions, because this looks really, really cool to me. Of course, we've got a lot of the sets from this line, including the Bomber, Star Destroyer, etc. That there is probably Rey, as well as the other figures, and in fact, even the couple of construction figures on the side there. So this does look really, really cool. As I said, with only 92 pieces, of course, it only has 1 page of inventory and a 42-page build. So really, it only took about 10 minutes to build, and there's really nothing too special whatsoever. Again, just like many other construction figures, nothing you wouldn't expect. Just like the instruction manual, the box is nothing too special either. If looking at the box art, you can see here, this to me reminds me of the Death Star quite a bit. But of course, because at this time the Death Star no longer exists, it's probably some other First Order base similar to Starkiller base, although of course even Starkiller base is no more either. Who knows, maybe they'll rebuild it on a different planet. Anyway, looking at the box, as I said, really nothing too special. We've got some nice box art on the back here, which is pretty cool. And I think standing up like this would actually be quite cool, as well as it may save a little bit of space. If you're trying to display a lot of these things on a shelf, trying to stand them up this way with the staff going up would probably save a lot of space rather than standing up this way, which would obviously be quite wide. Now looking at the back of the box, going over the features I did just mention, talking about how if you move that, the arms do move. I wouldn't really count this as a feature, but more just something that Lego inherently does, the fact you can take stuff apart. But I guess Lego counts it as a feature, so there you go. Looking there, you can see it's 25 centimeters high, which is about the average length, or height rather, of many other construction figures, because as I said, really the build is pretty much exactly the same as a lot of others. The only real difference is the red parts and everything, which we rarely see on barnacle sets or any other sort of construction sets. We rarely see a lot of red. It's a lot of white or a lot of black or things like that. Nonetheless, the box is pretty simple, as I said, quite cool. Giving it a bit of comparison to the actual size of the model. Now, of course, I've got him in a crouching sort of position, so if I just stand him up straight, he probably is about the same sort of size-ish as the box, maybe a tad shorter. But really, if you look at the box, you see the box on the shelf, I think you can probably imagine this guy, if you stand him up fully straight, is probably about the same sort of height, maybe a bit shorter than the box. So maybe you get a bit of scale of how big the actual construction figure is. As I said, if you have any other construction figures, then it's probably about the same size as that. Thank you guys for watching my review of the Elite Praetorian Guard, and I know I'm just pronouncing that wrong, and hopefully I'll get corrected later on in the year when the film actually is released. The Elite Praetorian Guard, in Lego wise, is still a really cool construction figure, and I would actually go as far as to say, even though it's obviously not known right now really what it is or how much of a role it plays in the film, I would say this is definitely one of the best construction figures we have ever gotten, mainly just because of the red. And even though, despite the fact throughout this entire review I of course said about how it's pretty much the exact same build as many others, and there's really nothing too special about it, just the red and the fact that we rarely see it, and the fact that, I've got to be honest with you, red is my favourite colour, really sets it apart. And just the design of it, the design of the helmet, the way it looks kind of like a sort of samurai type thing, it looks different, it looks unique, and compared to many other construction figures like Darth Vader or Kylo Ren or some of the others which have a lot of black, or maybe like the Stormtroopers which have a lot of white, this one really does stand out, and I definitely would say this is one of the best, if not the best, construction figure that's ever been released to date, even despite the fact it is so plainly built. It just works, to be honest with you. Nonetheless, I would highly recommend picking this up if you can. Of course, if you're not into construction figures, then it shouldn't really matter what my opinion is, because to be honest with you, if you don't like construction figures, why are you even watching this? It's a construction figure, and there's nothing a whole lot different about it other than the colour and a few other little things, but there you go. Nonetheless, I hope you did like my review. If you did, please do give it a like, as well as subscribing down below, because it really does make me feel good, I guess, and it'll mean you won't miss any future reviews. I hope we're reviewing the Chewbacca next, coming in the next few days, hopefully. I'm not entirely sure about that though, because I will be going on holiday, so it's really depending on whether I have the energy to review it before then. With that being said, I hope you did enjoy this review, and I'll see you next time in another review. Bye, troops. These guys only protect Snoke. Snoke. The Elite Praetorian Guard, as I found from Wikipedia, which is a Wikipedia-type site, which... fuck. The Elite Praetorian Guard, which, yes, I know, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Leave it down in the comments how it's actually pronounced. However we pronounce it, I will tell you later on in the review. Fuck, it was going well. The instruction manual is, of course, nothing too special either. Enough... Eva? 42 pages of build. It really does not take a lot of whites or blacks or, you know, a lot of plain colours, really. Having a closer look at the Elite Praetorian Guard here, as with many other construction figures... Construction figures? What?